Hey guys, it's Catherine of Second Chance Coaching. How are you? It's video number 4 and I'm so excited to be back. I had a really rough February. I was sick for about 15 days and was away for a while, and so I'm finally feeling 100% again, and so we are just going to dive right into what I want to talk about tonight, and that is self-love. And when I think about my vision for the world, and maybe you can imagine with me for just 1 second, what would it be like if we had 7 billion people who loved themselves and were in love with each other? So that's my vision for the world, that people have extraordinary relationships with themselves, which then spill over into extraordinary relationships with others. And this theme of self-love has just been really, really important to me lately, but especially, over the past year as I started this business, and really the past 3 years as I began my own healing journey into actually realizing and feeling what it looked like to love myself. And I'm feeling kind of silly right now, and I think a part of what self-love has given me is the ability to laugh at myself. But it's also a really serious topic, because I think that lack of self-love is something that is really prevalent throughout society, and it manifests in many ways. And so I really just wanted to talk a little bit about my journey and some tools that I can offer you on how to build self-love. And when I think of self-love, I really start by thinking about how I treat first the people that I really love in my life. And so when I think of unconditional love for my friends, I don't ever think about judging them or criticizing them or speaking to them the way I sometimes speak to myself. And so that's really the beginning radar, of how do you speak to yourself? How do you treat yourself? Are you living a life that you love? Are you taking actions that support your highest self, or actions that support someone who loves themselves? And it's this topic, that gets thrown around all the time, and maybe no one really knows what it means. And there's thousands of books on self-love, so if this is something you struggle with, you're not alone, or all of these books wouldn't have been written. And it really was something that I struggled with for most of my life. And what I think it actually stems from is an empty heart, or at least a perceived empty heart. So when I had a lack of self-love, I had a whole lack of love in my mentality. And so essentially that manifested in ways that there was never enough. There was never enough attention. There was never enough alcohol. There was never enough things to do. There was never enough clothes to have. And so when my heart is empty, I'm constantly grabbing at things to try to fill it up, rather than taking a step back and actually realizing that my heart is full, and then I do have enough of everything that I need, and I'm not constantly craving for more. And why this is important is because I'm in the business of helping people create lives they love, become people that they love. That's what I do. And I had to realize for myself that none of the success will matter, the partner won't matter, if you still have a lack of self-love. When I was in college, I had things, I had a boyfriend, I had a healthy body, I had a great place to live, I had great friends, I had a really beautiful life. But on the inside, I was dying. And so it didn't matter that I had all the things that I thought I wanted, especially a partner. And this goes back to what I was talking about in my last video about love isn't outside of you, it's not somewhere else. And I wanted to share, because I think this is something that I think about all the time, actually, on just when I think about where I'm coming from. I was in the bathroom getting ready to go out for dinner with my boyfriend in college. And I was just, I was getting ready. He was in the other room, and I was standing in front of the mirror, and I was like ripping on myself, like criticizing my face, and I was making noises, literally like disgusted with what I was seeing. And he walked into the bathroom and he looked at me. And so this was someone that really loved me. And he looked at me and said, "What is it like living like that?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "You're disgusted with yourself." And so that's where I'm coming from. Like, it's okay if you're struggling with self-love. I wish that it were just that easy to start jumping up and down saying I love you in the mirror, and that then you would have no problems. For me, it's been a long journey, but it's totally and entirely possible. And believing in myself and loving myself, which means I appreciate who I am. I stop comparing myself to others. I enjoy my own company. That's what self-love looks like to me. And so I have created my 8 secrets to self-love, to building self-love, and they're on my website. So I would love for you to check those out. And also, I want you to begin to get really super duper honest with yourself on where you're at with self-love right now. And so I want you to take out a piece of paper and write the numbers 1 through 10. Hope you can kind of see this here. I just put it in front of my face. 1 through 10 across the page. And so I'm a recovering all or nothing addict, I guess, maybe, of all or nothing brain. And so I would go from, well, I hate myself, so now I have to immediately get to a 10 and figure out how to be madly in love with myself. And many people do that all the time, of like, well, I want to lose weight, so I'm never going to eat bad food ever again. And it's really, flip-flopping, and it doesn't work that way. Changes happen one step at a time, one day at a time. So as you look at the scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, I really don't like myself, and 10 being, I am in an extraordinary relationship with myself. Take an honest look at where you're at. Where are you at? Find the number and then write next to that number what that looks like in your life. And really allow yourself to be honest, because that is a really awesome tool of self-love. Beginning a relationship with yourself starts with getting honest with yourself, and then from there things can change. So now, based on where you were at, fill out all the numbers moving forward, so up to 10. And if you're at 10, that's awesome. Share your secrets on how you've gotten to be in an extraordinary relationship with yourself. But maybe today you just realize you go from 5 to 6 or 7 to 8. And at the next number, how would it be a little bit different? Maybe you do start working out. Maybe you do start meditating. Maybe you do start, maybe you stop speaking negatively about yourself, or at least become aware of when you do. And self-love, it maybe isn't easy. Maybe you have to start making decisions that not everybody else approves of. For me, self-love is that sometimes I'm going to turn my phone off when it's time for me to go to bed, and I'm not going to talk past 11 o'clock because I want to get some sleep. Sometimes I have to say no to the 500 peanut M&Ms I want to eat because my body is saying that's not what I want. I want to feel good. And so you get to decide what loving yourself really looks like, because there isn't a right or wrong answer, but really, how do you feel? How do you treat yourself? Because how you treat yourself is going to manifest in how you treat other people. It really, really is. What we do internally is what we do externally. And this shows up especially in romantic partnerships. And I help people attract relationships, learn how to communicate better in relationships. And most problems in relationships come when we are approaching life with an empty heart. So how can you fill your heart today? That has been my commitment to living with a full heart no matter what, and it has not always been easy for me. And I've had to make some tough decisions lately based on what's best for me and what supports me and my highest self. And so realize that love is nowhere else but inside you. And I used to say that I wanted to find love. Now I want to find a partner. I want to find a person, because love is here and I can't wait to be able to share myself with that person, and I really love sharing myself with all of you. So thank you for seeing me. How can you love yourself just a little bit more today? Don't forget to check out my website at www.secondchancecoaching.com. Every second is a chance to turn your life around. Every second is a chance for you to love yourself a little more. So I love you. I can't wait to hear from you. Keep being awesome, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.